of abandoning their pursuit of nuclear weapons.
We're
They were
live.
also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic.
So we're going to go over Donald Trump's announcement to the nation. I figured let's just go live and watch this together, and we could talk about it and leave comments. I'll be on the comment section.
Obvious. They wanted to produce as many missiles as possible, and they did, with the longest range possible. And they had some weapons that nobody believed they had. We just learned that out. We took them out. We took them all out so that no one would really dare stop them. And their race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep. For years, everyone has said that Iran cannot have nuclear weapons. But in the end, those are just words if you're not willing to take action when the time comes. As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb. Our armed forces have been extraordinary. There's never been anything like it militarily. Everyone is talking about it, and tonight I'm pleased to say that these core strategic objectives are nearing completion. As we celebrate this progress, we think especially of the 13 American warriors who have laid down their lives in this fight to prevent our children from ever having to face a nuclear Iran. Twice this past month, I've traveled to Dover Air Force Base, and it's been something. I wanted to be with those heroes as they return to American soil, and I was with them and their families, their parents, their wives, their husbands. We salute them, and now we must honor them by completing the mission for which they gave their lives. And every single one of the people, their loved ones said, "Please, sir, please finish the job," every one of them. And we are going to finish the job, and we're going to finish it very fast. We're getting very close. I want to thank our allies in the Middle East, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. They've been great, and we will not let them get hurt or fail in any way, shape, or form. Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict. This is yet more proof that Iran can never be trusted with nuclear weapons. They will use them, and they will use them quickly. It would lead to decades of extortion, economic pain, and instability worse than we can ever imagine. The United States has never been better prepared economically to confront this threat. You all know that. We built the strongest economy in history. We're going through it right now, the strongest in history. In 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead and crippled country after the last administration and made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far, with no inflation, record-setting investments coming into the United States, over $18 trillion, and the highest stock market ever, with 53 all-time record highs in just 1 year. It all positioned us to get rid of a cancer that has long simmered. It's known as the nuclear Iran, and they didn't know what was coming. They've never imagined it. Remember, because of our Drill Baby Drill program, America has plenty of gas. We have so much gas. Under my leadership, we are #1 producer of oil and gas on the planet, without even discussing the millions of barrels that we're getting from Venezuela. Because of the Trump administration's policies, we produce more oil and gas than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. Think of that, Saudi Arabia and Russia combined. And that number will soon be substantially higher than that. There's no country like us anywhere in the world, and we're in great shape for the future. The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it. We've beaten and completely decimated Iran. They are decimated, both militarily and economically and in every other way. And the countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily. We will be helpful, but they should take the lead in protecting the oil that they so desperately depend on. So to those countries that can't get fuel, many of which refuse to get involved in the decapitation of Iran, we had to do it ourselves. I have a suggestion. Number one, buy oil from the United States of America. We have plenty. We have so much. And number two, build up some delayed courage. Should have done it before. Should have done it with us, as we asked. Go to the Strait and just take it, protect it, use it for yourselves. Iran
He's talking about the UK right now.
Decimated.
They didn't want to get involved, and he's like, if you want oil, you're going to have to go down there and get it.
When this conflict is over, the Strait will open up naturally. It'll just open up naturally. They're going to want to be able to sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing, and the gas prices will rapidly come back down. Stock prices will rapidly go back up. They haven't come down very much, frankly. They came down a little bit, but they've had some very good days over the last couple of days. We've done actually much better than I thought, but we had to take that little journey to Iran to get rid of this horrible threat. With our historic tax cuts, where people are just now talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible, they are getting so much more money than they thought. That's from the great, big, beautiful bill. Our economy is strong and improving by the day, and it will soon be roaring back like never before. It will top the levels that it was a month ago. I've made clear from the beginning of Operation Epic Fury that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly.
What does shortly mean?
We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change. But
what do you guys think? 2 or 3 weeks, or is it going to be longer? We can't last till summer. Like, they have no time to finish this thing.
The new group is less radical and much more reasonable. Yet if during this period of time no deal is made, we have our eyes on key targets. If there is no deal, we are going to hit each and every one of their electric generating plants very hard and probably simultaneously. We have not hit their oil, even though that's the easiest target of all, because it would not give them even a small chance of survival or rebuilding. But we could hit it, and it would be gone, and there's not a thing they could do about it. They have no anti-aircraft equipment. Their radar is 100% annihilated. We are unstoppable as a military force. The nuclear sites that we obliterated with the B-2 bombers have been hit so hard that it would take months to get near the nuclear dust, and we have it under intense satellite surveillance and control. If we see them make a move, even a move for it, we'll hit them with missiles very hard again. We have all the cards, they have none. It's very important that we keep this conflict in perspective. American involvement in World War I lasted 1 year, 7 months, and 5 days. World War II lasted for 3 years, 8 months, and 25 days. The Korean War lasted for 3 years, 1 month, and 2 days. The Vietnam War lasted for 19 years, 5 months, and 29 days. Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And
Thanks,
the country
Cindy.
has been eviscerated and essentially is really no longer a threat. They were the bully of the Middle East, but they're the bully no longer. This is a true investment in your children and your grandchildren's future. The whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing. They leave it to your imagination, but they can't believe what they're seeing, the brilliance of the United States military. Tonight, every American can look forward to a day when we are finally free from the wickedness of Iranian aggression and the specter of nuclear blackmail. Because of the actions we have taken, we are on the cusp of ending Iran's sinister threat to America and the world. And I'll tell you, the world is watching. And when we do, when it's all over, the United States will be safer, stronger, more prosperous, and greater than it has ever been before. May God bless the men and women of the United States Armed Forces, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much, and good night.
All right. So I don't know. That was a pretty short press conference that he just did. 273,000 views. That's on the White House presser. I'm not too sure. So, I mean, I thought we were going to learn a lot more today than what he just shared with us. What do you guys thought? Like, so basically he says there's 2 or 3 weeks left. Everything's going according to plan. He just talked about all the other wars, how there was 8 years, 19 years. And that this thing's going to be just what, a couple months, because he started a month ago. It's going to be 1 more month and then it's over. I don't know. I mean, that's pretty wishful thinking. Hopefully it's ended soon, because there's a lot of countries around the world that are currently running out of gas. I heard Vietnam's having trouble. They're canceling all sorts of flights. I also saw that, like, if you go to Thailand's saying you have to walk to work. During the week, you can't even drive to work because they're running out of gas. We saw what happened with Australia. They're preloading and buying fuel and subsidizing fuel. So this thing needs to end pretty quick here. So I think that regardless of the situation, Donald Trump's going to have to say that he won. It's all over. Hopefully they get as many of these missiles taken care of and get rid of the nuclear weapons. What do you think, guys? Let's chat's open. I mean, I thought it was going to go on. Donald Trump usually talks for like an hour. So this was a pretty short press conference after he talked it up quite a bit today. He was like, I can't wait to tell you guys about all the things that I have to talk to you guys about later on today. And that was it. I took a look and I'm like, you know what? I'll go into the stream like 5 minutes late, thinking it's going to be a 2-hour stream with Donald Trump. And here we are right now. And he just said the war's ending in 2 or 3 weeks. Everything's going according to plan. We're the strongest military in the world. And, you know, everything's going to be good. So what's your thought, guys? What's happening out there? Just arrived. I know. Hey, thanks, guys, for coming on. I know it was last minute. I like to give people advance notice before I do lives, but I figured it'd be a good idea just to jump on as Donald Trump was coming on, and then we could have a discussion, see what's happening, see what everybody's up to. What's happening, guys? Let's see some of these comments. I know a lot of people are upset. I mean, with Canada, all sorts of things are going on with Canada. I'm trying to keep up. I got kids, I got a family, I do other work as well. So for me to keep up and, you know, pound out these videos, I'm back now. I made a video today. I'm going to be making more videos. I'm working on one right now. I got a video tomorrow. I have a huge interview tomorrow, by the way, with Warren Ham, which is trying to be the premier of BC for the Conservative Party. I want to hear what he has to say. I haven't made an update yet, but he's one of the contenders, and tomorrow I'm going to be doing a video with him, and then I'm going to publish it tomorrow. I'm going to ask him questions. You know, what's his deal? What is he up to? So I look forward to that. What do you guys think about this thing? It was only, you know, a 10-minute thing here. We got a comment here. Liberals are going to stay in power for another 4 years. I really hope not. I mean, We got to talk to your neighbors, talk to everybody and say, you know, what he's trying to do. And if you saw my video today, he wants to do this nature, $3.8 billion for nature, plus have other, you know, corporations and probably Brookfield involved and invest all this money into nature. Nature's free, everybody. There's no money in nature. It's free. Just leave nature alone and it's going to grow trees. There's going to be things that grow. We don't need to spend money on nature. But what he's doing is and this is the third component he was talking about, is get Brookfield probably or a company to review the forest and then start figuring out how much carbon is getting sucked into the forest with their technology or whatever. And then they're going to have carbon credits. And it doesn't stop there. They're going to go and start doing carbon credits for everything Canadian. So food's going to have a carbon credit, your house, your car, everything's going to have a carbon credit. And this is where he's going. It has nothing to do about the forest. It has everything to do with control, the money, and control, you know, everything. Like they want to get to net zero with us or without us. Canadians need to wake up because we have the third largest oil reserve on the planet. We should be sucking all that oil out as soon as possible while it's still worth something. Yes, we have to leave oil because we're going to run out of oil. Within 150 years, there'll be no more oil. So we need to figure something out. But in the meantime, let's drill, baby, drill. Get every ounce of oil out of the ground so that we can be prosperous. None of this keep it in the ground garbage. What's happening out there, guys? Let's see. Iran's escalation will make Vietnam look like Disneyland. Yeah, we'll see what's going to happen. I mean, he's talking as if this thing's going to be all wrapped up in 3 weeks. I don't know. So, yeah, you know what's interesting is that he talked about other countries going into the Strait of Hormuz and doing it. He was talking specifically about the UK and whoever else, like European nations. He's not talking about Canada there. He's talking about Europe and the UK. If they want oil, the US is not going to deal with that. You need to go and get your oil, or you could just buy oil from us. That's the plan there. And, you know, he's also seeing who exactly is, you know, the allies. This is a test for Donald Trump as well. Yeah, gas is going up tonight. You know what? Gas is quite expensive. I'm in the Lower Mainland. Gas prices today. Let's take a look at gas prices today. I was actually looking at it. It's out of control. It's like $2.18. Let me take up... I'm going to bring up Gas Buddy so that we can see what gas prices are across Canada. It's getting out of control. I'm just letting you guys know. All right, where are we at here? All right, so let's take a look at this thing. I'm going to bring it up for everybody. Okay. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but I'll zoom in into some locations here. So throughout the Lower Mainland, we got some prices. Let's take a look. Look at this. $2.18.9. $2.19 for gas. It's also over here. There's some locations at $2.06. So I don't know if they haven't increased their prices yet or they're going to bring them up, but that's really expensive for gasoline. The whole thing I'm looking over. 216. Hey, I found one at 201. That's an outlier there. Go down to, where is that? Port Coquitlam or Pitt Meadows. Yeah, 215. It looks like about 212, 215 is the average. I saw in Calgary, prices are $1.50. So it's a lot better in Calgary. It's 60 cents difference. Can you believe it? Just so people know, in the Lower Mainland, that means we're paying 60 cents a liter in taxes. They need to get rid of these these taxes. It's out of control. Just saw $1.76 in Ottawa. What's the gas prices in your location? You know, a lot of people just want Donald Trump. A lot of people want to see after Iran's dealt with, he's probably going to go down to Cuba, deal with that. But a lot of people are like, when he's done all that, he's going to be like, hey, I got some free time. What about Canada? A lot of people want to see him solve Canada. Here we got 51st state. Let's see what's going on, guys. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Wonder how many libs like Artemis 3 mil of fuel. Not too sure what this comment is, but thank you so much for the super. Yeah, I completely agree with this comment. We need a pipeline without the carbon nonsense. So people are aware. This carbon thing costs $20 per barrel on top. And we already get our barrels because 90% of all the fuel, over 90% gets sent down to the United States because we can't ship it all across to the BC coast. We only have one pipeline sending product. We need a whole bunch more, meaning we sell our product at a discount already to the United States. And then we're going to add $20 per barrel. Who in the right mind is going to buy Canadian oil at a $20 premium? Nobody gives a damn about carbon decarbonized oil. Nobody cares about it. The only person that cares about it is Mark Carney because his money is invested in it. That's it. Decarbonization is part of his portfolio. Carbon credits. Yeah, you know, this carbon credits is we're going down a slippery slope with this carbon credits nonsense. And yes, drill, baby, drill. We have a lot more than $7 to $10 trillion in oil alone. I believe it's closer to 14 to 17 trillion. It just depends on how much we could get for it. I think at $10 per or $100 per barrel, it's like 17 trillion. And all the other stuff that we have in Canada. I mean, we should be the richest country on planet Earth. I've said it before in some of my videos. I'm like, we should all be driving Lamborghinis or Ferraris. We should all own a boat, second properties. We should be living the dream. There's only 41 million Canadians. Other countries have billions. And we have the second largest landmass. The problem with Canada is we have the worst management imaginable. They care about, see, if we earn less, then we can't complain because we're working 3 freaking jobs. If you're working 3 jobs and watching Netflix when you get home, you're not complaining about the government, but everybody's sleepwalking. That's the thing. If you had more time, then you could be thinking, hey, I'm getting screwed here, you know? What else do we got? Oh, the NDP conference. I'm going to be making a video. I know I'm trying to get caught back up, but I can't let this one go. You know, the NDP conference went global. The entire world. I have cousins from Switzerland. They're like, is Canada okay right now? I said, no, Canada is not okay right now. But luckily, it's only a small group of individuals that I said, hey, I'm very embarrassed, but it's not all of Canada that's like that. And they're like, what's with these equity and inclusion cards? And I'm like, yeah, that was hilarious because they created those cards so that people wouldn't be arguing with each other. But all I saw was, hey, you know, they had that color card and I wasn't able to speak. They cut me off. And like the whole thing was, honestly, it looked like a Saturday Night Live skit. The entire thing was a skit. But the problem is it was no joke. This was real life people. It's unbelievable. I'm like, honestly, I didn't believe that these people existed. I seen it in the US, but the US has like, what, 300 plus million people. Canada, we have such a smaller population. So there'd be more different people. But yeah, no, it exists in Canada as well. Jeez. Yeah, prorogue. Let's talk about prorogue. I don't know if you saw my video earlier today. Mark Carney says he promises there's no prorogue. If he gets his majority, he won't even think about proroguing. I told everybody. I've actually saved that clip into my folder because I'm going to be bringing it back to life because I do not believe him for a second. And you know how he answered the question? Like immediately, right away. He's like, oh no, I would never do that. Yeah, that right away, I was like, well, if he answers the question that quickly, he's definitely going to be proroguing. Why would he want to prorogue? Just so people know why he would want to do it. So currently the committees are set. They're set from the last election. All he has to do is prorogue the government for 1 day. That's it, just 1 day. And it resets the entire committee. Meaning, if he has a majority and he prorogues for 1 day, he gets to rebalance the committees with full of liberals so that they don't even need to vote anymore. It just gets approved. They don't need Bloc to confirm. They don't need NDP or anybody. They just approve all this stuff. So all those problematic bills, like Bill C8, Bill C9 is not approved yet, everybody. It has to send an email to the Senate. Do something. Just send an email and say, we don't want this thing. Even though the Senate is stacked with liberals, hopefully they have some common sense. Hopefully they actually care about this country. You know, in one of my videos, in my video today, they wanted to reduce or ban children under 16 years and under from social media. Okay. 75% of Canadians say yes to this. But they don't understand how they're going to implement this. So I did some research about Australia and I looked at the UK. They already approved this. So the first thing I have to say is I'm the type of person that says, you know, I'd rather the government just get out of my life completely. I don't want them controlling any aspect of my life, including my children. I think parents should parent their children and not allow them to go onto dangerous social media sites. Or if they're mature enough, then teach them safety because eventually they're going to go on it. When they're 18, they're going to go on it. Maybe if they're younger and you're already working with them and you monitor everything, just give them the safe stuff, monitor them. And then when they're of age, then they're going to be safe because you've taught them at a young age, especially when their mind is starting to discover things. They're curious. They're going to find a way onto these things regardless. But this is what they're going to do. They're going to make it so that every single Canadian has to provide a piece of ID and your address and this and that. They're going to provide, you have to provide all of these information, upload it to the social media of choice in order to prove that you are over the age of 16. Are you comfortable giving all of that information to these social media that are global social media, like US chains? Other countries own the platform, like TikTok owned by China. Like these are the risks that we're talking about. Plus, what do you think is going to happen with Bill C9? So for sure, even with your VPN, with your ID and all the information that you provided them, if you say something, once it's not approved yet, but if you say something and it's approved and they determine that it's hate speech, and guess who determines if it's hate speech? It's the court system that's fined this police or this man that was said that there's only a man and a woman, and that's all I know. And he got fined $750,000 because he's involved in the school system. So they took him and said, you know what? We're going to go hard on him so that it just goes away for everybody else. That's the court system that's going to decide the threshold between what is acceptable and what is considered hateful. That is a terrifying thought. And with all these IDs and all that stuff that you provide them, even with a VPN, they're going to find you and they will go after you. It's not for sure, but I'm just putting it out there that it's definitely a possibility. What else is people saying here? All right, let's see. Yeah, so somebody agreed. So Canada has 17 trillion in natural resources that Ottawa is not willing to sell to market. If you're wondering why most Canadians are struggling, I saw in a report that 50% of Canadians are $200 away from financial insolvency. The interest rates are not going down. Even if the Bank of Canada, which, by the way, and I haven't done a report on this yet, but the Bank of Canada came out and said, we are screwed. Canada is straight up screwed. We increase interest rates to put a cap on all this inflation because gas prices are exploding, groceries are exploding, 5.4%, the highest in the G7. Yeah, everything's exploding in price. So they're like, well, we might have to increase interest rates. If they increase interest rates, we're already not growing. Our economy is not growing. We're not doing great. The only reason that our economy grew just like 0.1 that we got today, the StatsCan said 0.1% growth. It's because we're spending all this additional money on military and all the government spending is what's creating this. Outside of that, our economy's not doing great at all. So the Bank of Canada is like, and we want to stimulate the economy, but if we lower interest rates, inflation's going to explode. We're already exploding. So they're like, yeah, we're in a rock and a hard place right now. So for all the people that are renewing their mortgages, this is not good news. And 60% of mortgages are renewing this year. Think about how many people are going to have higher payments. This is on top of the gas price, on top of grocery prices. Food banks in Canada, they're literally saying you could only come once a month now. Once a month. The rest of the month, figure it out. Go into the forest, start fishing. No, you can't even do that. You need a license to fish. But yeah, figure it out, guys. Maybe there's abuse. I don't know if there's abuse. There could be abuse. But the donations is also down 20% because people are having troubles. They're struggling. You know what's very frustrating, Canada? Is the $3.8 billion for nature could have gone to the food bank to help feed this country. That would have been helpful. Help the commoner, the common people. But the problem is, Mark Carney said last week that affordability is the best it's been in over a decade. He has no clue what you are having to deal with on a daily basis. He has somebody else shop for him. He was asked last year, do you know what the price of strawberries is? You know what he said? He said, I apologize, but I don't know because I've never shopped he probably shopped at one point, but he's like, I don't shop. I have a cook. I have somebody buy all that stuff for me. So do you think this guy that's, a multi-millionaire, soon to be billionaire on Canadians' back has any idea what it is like to be a regular Canadian? No. That's why you could just stand up in the House of Commons, look at the camera in an eye and say, you have never had it so good, Canada. Just take your 12 million Canadians get $30 per month for groceries and essential benefit. Take it and go. Take your cookie crumbs and get out of here because I helped you. Because you know what they said in a press conference yesterday? Are you going to be removing the gas taxes and making life more affordable on the gas side? You know what he said? I've done enough. Life is abundantly affordable. You guys are just complaining. I could not believe the arrogance of his response. Maybe in the spring, we're going to look at helping people with the gas price. But, we've done so much for you, Canadians. You know what this funny is? Since Mark Carney showed up into our lives, everything is worse. I've asked people online, I said, hey, can you please let me know what is better in your life since Mark Carney showed up? And honestly, most people, they say nothing is better. There's literally nothing better. In fact, everything costs more. Like before he showed up, just coffee has doubled in price from a year ago. It's out of control. Red meat. Holy crap. You're going to have to remortgage your house for half a cow. It's ridiculous. What else are you guys saying out there? Let's see. Dollar. Hey, somebody said $1.30. Where's this $1.30 gasoline? I'm going to go back. $1.30. Where are you? Let me know. Where are you for this $1.30? Everywhere else is $1.77. $1.75 for diesel in Vancouver. Calgary's got the best prices. Yeah, well, no, it looks like somebody has $1.30. Calgary, I looked at it today. Calgary's gas is $1.50 on average. 207 in Nanaimo. Toronto's $1.76. Ottawa, $1.76. So it looks like in Ontario, that's what it is. Michigan, life is good. Yeah, we like Michigan. We love all our, by the way, we love America. Canadians love Americans. There's some Canadians out there that have severe Donald Trump derangement syndrome. And it doesn't help that on a daily basis, our bought and paid for mainstream media pumps out severe things that make these people go severe. Like I saw, they're like, Donald Trump's going to come over the border with tanks. Like, come on. If he was going to come over with tanks, he would have done it by now. Like, it's just so ridiculous, the stuff that they say. But it's all because fear of Donald Trump is what gets the votes. They vote for socialists. They vote for Mark Carney as this economic genius that doesn't know how to do math, or he doesn't even know how to make life more affordable for Canadians. He's not making life more affordable. You know what? I wish Canadians would look at the options and say, which guy will make it so that I could survive and thrive in this country? And Mark Carney's not it. He's the guy that's going to make your life less affordable. Right now we have over 2.2 million people visiting the food bank. By the time he's done, that number is going to be double. Guaranteed. All right, what else is it people saying? Travis, thanks for the super. Alberta needs to be front runner in selling oil to the world, regardless of what Governor Carney says. I completely agree with you. You know, hopefully in BC we figure it out. Because if we don't, I'm moving to Alberta. I'm sick and tired of, it's not a good place for my children. The unemployment rate for the youth in BC is like 17%. 70,000 of the brightest, smartest working age adults left BC last year alone. We are running a 13.3 billion deficit. We've had 5 credit downgrades 5 years in a row. The province is basically getting given away to the First Nations. Almost all of Greater Vancouver has been given land title to 1,500 people, which I have to say, looking at the polls, NDP is getting decimated right now. The only people still voting for the NDP is a portion of the Lower Mainland, which makes zero sense. Do they not realize that their land could be worthless? You know, in Cowichan, which now has Aboriginal title, the land value and properties have decreased by 40%. Lenders are not lending there. That's why David Eby created a $150 million fund in order to help put loans on those properties. It's catastrophic. Not only that, is the business community is not investing in a place that has uncertainty. The uncertainty in itself is having a dulling effect on investment. It's serious. This is some serious stuff, guys. All right, what else are we looking at? If gas and diesel prices change after Tuesday, they're ripping us off. Global changes on Tuesday. Yeah, you know what? I mean, they're very quick to increase the gas prices on us, but they take forever to lower them. Just so people are aware, there is more taxes, all of us. 16% increase in industrial carbon taxes. I don't know what the increase is for the fuel standard charge or whatever it is. It was 7 cents. Has that increased? I wouldn't be surprised if there's more taxes on fuel. So it won't be going back down to, you know, for Vancouver, at least, I see it hovering around $2 indefinitely. It always costs more for gasoline in the summertime. Yeah, here's somebody just said, Kristen, 16% carbon tax. Yeah, it's April Fool's, but this is no joke. 16% increase in carbon taxes. Unbelievable. Someone needs to save us. I know, right? Somebody needs to come. Where's our hero? SpaceX rocket's going to be going to the moon. I know. You know what? I might cover some of that. It's pretty interesting. President Trump, God bless him. Alberta independence. By the way, I reported Alberta independence has reached its signatures. So, I mean, realistically, it would be good if they could get to 1 million signatures. We don't know what the number is, but they did officially come out and say they reached their 177,000 signatures, meaning in October, there's going to be a referendum on independence. What is this? April Fool's. April Fool's joke on Canadians. Yep, carbon tax, alcohol tax, and MPs get raises. Their raises are huge. You know, the one thing that I've always said is, you know, what they should do in a perfect world is they should pay themselves the median household income in Canada. So whatever that is, if 80,000, they currently make like 300,000 plus expenses and bonuses. But let's say they made 80,000. Then if they improve our standard of living, and I mean, they could do a calculation. It could be basically how much money you are, like GDP per capita would be a good, you know, that's how much money that we're all individually making more. If they increase it by 5%, you get a 50% bonus. Like make the bonuses to get them to the 300,000 an incentive to make our life better. Is that too hard to ask? I mean, that would be a perfect way to deal with the government saying, if you make our life better, you get a massive bonus, massive, like 300 grand if you improve our life by 10% this year. Then there's an incentive. Or if you reduce the cost of shelter, like they should earn their paychecks, basically. That's what I'm getting at. I have a feeling that people will not vote for any liberals in the 3 ridings on April 13th. And you know what? I hope so. I really do. But, you know, share information with people. Get out there. The problem is 2 of the ridings are in liberal strongholds. And unfortunately, a lot of people in those ridings have TDSD. And they're going to probably vote for Mark Carney. I'm just being real here. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. However, the Canadian youth, we need to mobilize the Canadian youth. They need to show up in masses for this by-election. If you live in one of these by-election areas, call your Canadian youth and make sure they vote for change. What do we got here? Banker, Prime Minister of Canada. Yeah, you know, the thing is that I don't know if anybody saw that Juno's award. How disgusting, okay? Saying, oh, Mark Carney is like the savior by that woman. Basically, she has not been in Canada for 78 years, older than my parents. She has not been in Canada. And then she comes, and this other, Mark Carney hasn't been in Canada for 12 years. And it says, oh, you guys are just so lucky to have such a patriot, Mark Carney. And I almost vomited. I could not believe it. That's why I don't watch that stuff. I saw that in a clip. I did not waste my time watching that. No way, man. No way. And that's why I'm so, if you guys don't follow Amazing Zoltan, he's on X. He actually watched the entire NDP conference and provided everybody those clips that went global. Like, it's gone parabolic. I have to say, I'm like, dude, how did you sit there for 3 hours and watch that whole thing? He said that he currently suffers some brain damage. So give the guy a follow for all the brain damage. If you consume some of those clips, it's him that made that happen, and it's been shared by everybody. Trying to get caught up on the comment sections here. We got Shuswap. Oh, Shuswap's a beautiful place. You know, if you guys ever, want to rent a houseboat, lots of fun. Go to Shuswap in the summertime, but those things sell out, so you'll have to book it in advance. 2 days ago, he filled up at I don't know, at $1.57. Yeah, I know the prices of getting out of hand. That's for sure. Yeah, I know. The governments do want full control. It's only us. We got to take back control. Ban children under 16. Yeah, that's another thing. I'm going to Yeah, I know. Well, you know what? We band together. We got to band together. Together, we are unstoppable. Build a community, get people involved. We could do this together. We're not going to give up. There's no way. You could either give up and just roll over into a corner, or you could fight back and actually do something. We're not going to give up. I refuse to give up. I was born in Canada. I love this country. We're not going to give up on it. Yeah, Mark Carney and the Liberals managed decline very well. Yeah, it's just, actually, to be honest with you, he's accelerating it. Took 10 years to double our national deficit. The amount, I'm waiting for the official number. And you know, this person, the new parliamentary budget officer, it's so bad. We had the best parliamentary budget officer and it cost him his job. They got rid of him. Now we got this woman that's just going to say yes to him about everything. 50% of Canadians believes there's a climate crisis. We should not develop our oil and gas, thanks to Mark Carney. You know, the thing is it's plant food, guys. I mean, that's why the US is like, why? Think about this. Canada produces 1.5% of total global emissions. Total. But there's something people are forgetting. That is without considering the second largest forest on planet Earth. You know, the boreal forest that covers like half of Canada? That thing doesn't absorb a single amount. There's no way that that forest does not absorb anything. Yeah, I know. Sometimes there's forest fires. There are lots of fires. Re-releases it. But at some point, wasn't it absorbing? Maybe now it's not, but maybe in the past, like it was absorbing a lot. Can't we get credit for all that absorption? And look, he's making these parks to absorb all this carbon. Obviously, it does absorb carbon. That's the thing, but they don't consider that. So basically, Canada is the lung of the earth, and we're the only ones that is like, keep it all on the ground. Let's just go full tilt, save the planet. We're not saving anything. We're just destroying our economy. That's what we're doing. Mark, where's Pleb? Pleb's doing great. He's starting making videos again. We're going to start doing our weekly mashup where we get together. I think we're going to do Fridays. Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. or 4 and 7. So that everybody, and then we'll let everybody know a week in advance so everybody could be there. Because, you know, we did our live last time. Everybody loved it. People loved Pleb. Pleb's great. He is great. He's a funny guy. I mean, and then for me, I bring the data. I bring the facts. Pleb, we could get a reaction from him. He's also quite bright. He could bring some quite a bit to the table. I mean, he's got a good heart, that Pleb. He wants the best for Canadians. That's for sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay, what else? Thank you. Thanks, guys. No, I appreciate you guys coming on this live. It was last minute. I said, you know what? Donald Trump's, he's doing this conference. Let's just check it out, see what he says. I mean, what did we learn? We learned that this thing's done in 2 or 3 weeks, supposedly. We'll see, right? And we're going to get cheap gas after, and we'll also see. But he's also called out other countries saying, if you want to put an end to this, you have to come and get, you know, open up the strait. So who knows what's happening, but I'll tell you right now, this thing needs to end. There's a lot of countries around the world that are running out of fuel. Yeah, I know. Affordability is the best it's been in 10 years. I know, you know what? I've been making these little clips of price of gasoline or the price of steak and putting Mark Carney's little clip of, because it's a real clip. He was looking at the camera saying that affordability's never been so good in the all of our lifetime. And so those clips actually get shared in hundreds of thousands. People are like, well, look at the price and look at Mark Carney. It's true. Like he's totally detached with reality, this guy. He doesn't care about us. Let's be real. 3.8 going to nature, funding Iran uranium. Who knows where we know where the 3.8 million is going to be going towards carbon credits, building out a system for that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to reach out to Pierre. Why not? Let's see if he might come on. He might come on. What's the best use of his time? I mean, come on my show after going on Joe Rogan. I know, like, I don't give myself that much credit, but that was a great interview. I have to say something about Pierre. I was so disappointed last year that he didn't go on, and I get it. He fired his campaign manager for a reason. Okay. You can't be scared. If you want to lead a country, don't ask for permission. Just do. That's what we expect in a leader. As a leader, you just go and do the best you can. If you make a mistake, we're going to let you know. But overall, I think Pierre, the reason I like Pierre is because I think he's a good guy. I think he's going to do good for this country. And his heart's in the right place. He has common sense approach to how to fix things. He's a way better option than Mark Carney. He's Canadian. He wears a Canadian. He's a Canadian patriot. He wants the best for us. I'm all about common sense, and I think he's a good. And you know what's great is he is a good guy, and people, they just see him as attack guy because he's the opposition. That's their job, by the way. He has to attack. So they see him, oh, he's attacking. That's how he is. So it was actually great that he went out to Joe Rogan, and then mainstream media was forced to watch it. And that was the first time they saw like a real Pierre. Like, they don't watch any of his stuff, but they were forced to watch that interview. So there's a lot of young people that watched that interview. New eyeballs watch. People in the US watch that interview as well. I mean, I don't know if it's at 3 million just on YouTube, by the way. There's Spotify and all. It's in the millions upon millions. And then the clips, think about how many views were from the clips. That's in the probably hundreds of millions. It's huge. And so they actually saw him as a real person, which was great. And they're like, wow, I didn't know he was, he's very bright. He did a great job. His whole tour in the US, he did a great job from beginning to end with the audio pack. And then his speech when he did in, where was it? New York. He did a great job. Like, it was a great trip. I'd like to see him go on more trips. And then for him not to bash Mark Carney and show when Mark Carney went down to the US, he bashed Pierre the whole time. And Pierre's like, no, you know what? I'm on the international stage. I'll keep the bashing for the House of Commons. The problem is Mark Carney doesn't show up to the House of Commons 29% of the time since he became prime minister, the lowest level in any prime minister. He's in the House of Commons. And the elbows up voters are like, well, he's traveling the world getting us trade deals. What trade deals? What trade deals? Indonesia for $5 billion? That's the only one he's secured. That's it. And then we get these Chinese EVs, 49,000 spy machines. And then we're only selling 5 or 6 billion worth of canola. We trade 1 trillion with the US. 5 or 6 billion is like a penny. It's nothing. So and the US is clearly pissed off. They said, we're not going to let these spy machines through the border. So if you buy one, don't come to the US. And it's going to cause a problem with the US. So we're turning our back on the US, going to China for 6 billion worth of canola. Make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's just, yeah, it's bad, guys. It's really bad. Somebody says diesel's $2.45 in Southern Ontario. I just saw somebody say it was like $1.65 in the Lower Mainland. Yeah, that's expensive. And guess what? Diesel. What do you think? Our farming's diesel. It's just price of groceries is going to continue to go up, guys. I apologize. Well, I apologize. I apologize for myself too. We're all faced with the same problem. luckily, I do okay. I could afford food, but there's a lot of Canadians that are, they're literally deciding, should I have craft dinner tonight or should I fill up my gas tank? It's really sad, guys. It's really sad. Yeah, it's sad. You're right. They'll never listen to PR because of their ideology. Their ideology is flawed. They're ideology driven. They're not common sense driven. You can't change the ideology. That's the problem. Common sense. The cool thing about common sense, and the same as goes for me. One day I'll look at something and go, yeah, you know what? I agree with that. But then when I get more information becomes available, what do? I reassess and I go, you know what? Yes, I supported that. But now I have new information. I don't support that anymore. I'm moving this direction. That's called common sense. Evaluate on a daily basis where you're at and improve. Improve on a daily basis. That's called common sense. That's what we should be doing on a daily basis. Make a prudent, factual, numbered evaluation and pivot towards the best option. But with ideology, you'll never look at the information. Never. You'll just look at the ideology and go that direction. Yes, it makes zero sense. Nanaimo, 15-minute cities. Imagine reface, Edmonton's already announced it. With this $3.8 billion for nature, it's 15-minute cities, guys. That's what they're doing. They're going to put us all into 15-minute cities and free up all of this nature. You think I'm joking? I'm not joking. This is where we're going. Crude went up $6 a barrel as soon as the orange person opened up his yap tonight. Yeah, we were hoping for the war. You know why, guys? The reason that it went up immediately like that is because he really sold. He sold to everybody that this is going to be huge news. What did we learn? 2 or 3 weeks left in this war, which the market's looking and going, damn, we didn't want 2 or 3 more weeks. We wanted it done today. Today it's over. And with 2 or 3 more weeks, a lot could change in 2 or 3 more weeks. Yeah, 2 or 3 more weeks. Couple of these drones go into a bunch of other things, and then it escalates further, and then go, oops. I mean, now it's like 2 more months, and then we're in the summer, and gasoline's like $9 a gallon in the U.S., and who knows what gas prices will. Imagine they were $3 or $4 a liter in Canada. It would decimate our economy. It would be finished. Hopefully they can resolve this thing. David Eby, yeah, he is absolutely useless. Liberals always do this. Yes, I agree. Uses fear, danger, virtue tactics as strategy. Very sad. Looking at gas prices, trying to remember, did I buy a jet to spend on that fuel? Yeah, I know. Like, isn't that true? Imagine you got a 20-year-old car, barely surviving, and you're putting in this 2 point something dollars per liter fuel. It's like that's why I like all these memes where like, hey, if you're going to go on a date with a woman, just put a table in front of a gas station. You're at an expensive place. I like those memes. We need oil refineries. Jet fuel today hit $250 a barrel US. I didn't see that. Airline tickets are going to go up, folks. Yeah, I do believe that airline tickets are going to go up because, I mean, they buy gas in advance, like up forward looking, but eventually they're going to have to increase these prices. So they're probably, I think they've already increased some of the prices. Yeah, TDS, so much TDS. And yeah, I have to agree with this. Way worse than Trudeau. We knew this was, a lot of us knew this was going to happen. We tried to warn the other half, and here we are today. And the worst part is these elbozos are still cheering on Mark Carney. That's how brainwashed they are. They look at things and go, dude, your gas is $2 a liter. Life is not more affordable. He's this economic genius that is making things way worse. Things are worse. We need to fire David Eby. By the way, there's a website called Recall David Eby, and I believe it's coming up. Should we take a look? I'm going to take a look at that. Recall David Eby. Let's take a look at this website. All right. The Recall David Eby. Let's take a look at this, guys. This website, let's go to the home page. Recall David Eby. If you guys haven't gone to this website, check it out. It's pretty cool. We go down here. You could do a poll. I quite like these poll, but this is what I was looking at. There's a countdown clock. 18 days, 14 hours, and 59 minutes. There's a petition to recall David Eby. And it's not going to be, by the way, statistically speaking, no premier has ever been recalled in British Columbia before. Just for statistics. However, why not create history? We go down here and let's take a look here. It has the description right here. David Eby was rejected by 64% of the eligible voters in Vancouver Point Grey in 2024 election. He scraped by with just 12,538 votes out of 34,880 registered voters. A pathetic 35.9% of eligible voters actually supported him. Turnout was 63.43%, meaning the vast majority either voted against him or stayed home in just disgust. Under the BC Recall Initiative Act, we only need more than 40% of eligible voters, so approximately 13,953 signatures. By the way, you can't do it if you don't live in the Vancouver Point Grey riding. You have to live in that riding. Signatures in 60 days to force him out. That's it. That's achievable. Okay, so what happens if they vote, they get enough signatures, the 40%, which is just 14,000 signatures in 60 days. What happens then? What happens is David Eby calls an election, because if he is getting recalled, he'll call an election, and yeah, then there you go. We get an election and we could get change, get rid of the NDP altogether. It'll be interesting to see. I'm going to be paying attention to this so that you guys are up to date, but check out this website. I live in Windsor. If I could, I would move to Alberta ASAP. Yeah, you know, there's Alberta. It's, you know, Alberta's a good place. I mean, there's a lot of great people in Alberta. And I mean, that might be our last hope to get freedom, get our freedom back. You know, like the way that this country is going, it's pretty scary. Diesel's going up for sure. We're in BC import gasoline as well. I know. Yeah, we import a lot of gas. You know, there's only like 2 refineries in BC. The one in Northern Burnaby was just sold to the US. So if they have a gas shortage, we're not going to be able to get any gas. It's scary. $1.78. Jet A1 is now. Wow. Oh, thanks for the super 5.55. No one's going to save us but ourselves. Completely agree. I mean, check in on your neighbors, see how they're doing. Try to, you know, it's always nice when you help out, help somebody in need, check on people. Because I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of people that are very sad. They might show themselves okay in public, but check on people, see how they're doing, because on a daily basis, I check on people and like, thank you so much for calling me, Mark, because I wasn't doing okay. I said, yeah, no problem. Call me anytime. Yeah. You're not going to see Mark Carney in House of Commons. I'm surprised he was there 29% of the time. I want to hear from you guys. Like, what's your thought? He's going to show up. You know what's pathetic too? When he does show up, he gets completely humiliated, and then he storms out as if he has something to do. No, he got humiliated, doesn't fare well because he's, his arrogance, and then he leaves. Unbelievable. MPs make 210 per year, but leave after 20 years with 20 million. How does that work? Yeah, good question. They make a lot of money. And, one thing that I'd like to see is if you lie or get caught lying, you get fined $5,000, $10,000. Let's start fining them. You can't lie. Okay. It's over. No more lying. There's no nuclear weapons. Hey, I don't know. Do my research. I don't know what's underground. Who knows? Terrebonne, vote block. We need to stop Carney. I agree. I mean, that'd be nice. That'd be nice if Terrebonne voted to get block. I mean, we can't allow them to just steal a majority. This is going to be a big problem, Canada. I know that it's a very thin margin. So, I mean, hopefully something happens. There's a resignation. But at the same time, we don't want any of these bills approved. At least now they have to do committees. And yeah, they got Bill C9 almost approved. It goes to Senate. But yeah, we need people to come out in Terrebonne and the other ones too. Nick Shirley, I know somebody that has contacted Nick Shirley. I know that he's mentioned that he might come to Canada, but I think that maybe we're just on his radar. He has a lot of work to do in the US, and I think he's going to focus on that. But if he does actually say he's coming on a specific date, I'm going to make a huge announcement because that would be nice if he could expose a lot of the corruption in Canada. Oh, Joey, you live near me. Welcome. Yeah. North Vancouver, beautiful place. Just the bridge. I like to climb Grouse Grind, so I go that direction once in a while. Joni Mitchell was actually born in southern Alberta, but has not lived in Canada for over 60 years. I think it's over that. I think it's like 70 plus years. She lives in a care facility in California. Yeah. And, for her to get sent and then praise Mark Carney, it's just disgusting. Zoltan, he's a legend. He really is. 3 hours of NDP. Oh, boy. I don't know how he did it. Just watching the clips, I was having my brain. I'm like, my brain. I actually messaged him. I said, dude, you're a champion, man. How did you do that? Make Canada free again, please. Airline tickets, they're going up because Eastern provinces all import most of their jet fuel. Yeah. Yeah, if you're planning on flying somewhere, I'd book a flight sooner than later because we don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, prices could be going up. How are we doing, guys? Should we stay on the live a little bit longer? Where are we at? An hour? I'll probably do like 10 more minutes and then we'll end the live. I appreciate everybody coming on. It was kind of last minute. I got home from Taekwondo with the kids and I'm like, you know what? I have a little bit of time. I see that Trump's on. I thought he was going to do an hour, to be honest with you, and we could discuss what he's doing. He did a short amount of time. That's why the markets are not too happy because he basically patted himself on the back and then said the war is done in 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see what happens. I love it when we get together. I know it's going to be a lot of fun. There's some people that don't like it. They're like, don't associate with pleb. I'll associate with anybody. I'll even talk to, somebody that doesn't think the same as me. Why? Because it would be a very interesting conversation. I'm all about debating. If somebody's open to debate. If they're just going to talk over me and have their wacko ideas, then yeah, I have no patience for that. But for common sense people, I have no problem talking to people. Carney is stealing Canadian taxpayer dollars to boost his Brookfield stocks. He knows it. Everybody knows it. Yeah. We all know. Just look at his increase. Anybody out there, whoever doesn't follow Moose on the Loose, go follow him. Watch his daily videos. He does a great job. He's in it. He's provided his Moose chart. I believe if you go to his website, you could click on the Moose chart and you'll be able to see all his conflicts of interest. The guy's honestly, like, I message him. I'm like, Moose, you're doing such a great job. Go support the Moose. Third largest oil reserve in the world. I know. And yet we're paying just astronomical prices. We have 600 billion trees. We produce 560 tons of CO2. We capture it all. 23.7 billion. That means I know. It's ridiculous. Like I said, we should be, we're already a carbon sink. It's unbelievable. I'm going to go to some of the supers because thank you so much, guys. I'm going to do $24.99. Hey, $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much for the super. I appreciate it. All right. Where are we at? Yes, Steve Outhouse. He's the right person. Yeah, you know what? I actually have Steve Outhouse's contact information. So I will be reaching out, and we've gone back and forth. I haven't talked to him in a while, but I could talk to him, and we could definitely set something up, see if I could set up something with Pierre. And if that's the case, what I could do is I would love to get you guys involved so I could ask you guys a bunch of questions. I'll let you guys know in advance. And then I have lots of questions. Lots. I could fill up the time. Don't worry. But you know what? I don't want it to fill up all the time because you guys are quite smart as well. I'm sure you could help me out. Lots of questions. Thank you so much. Proud BC Lower Mainland follower. You know what? If you ever see me in the Lower Mainland, don't be shy. I'm nice. I'll say hi to you. That's if you recognize me. Some people are like, man, I didn't recognize you. And I'm like, really? I look the same, don't I? Yeah. You know what's interesting is when you run it, I totally understand. When you see somebody on TV and then you see them in person, sometimes it doesn't click right away or it clicks. It just depends. I mean, Mario from the North, I hung out with Mario. Everybody knows Mario. And I think he's just so tall and his bald head. They're like, oh, that's Mario. Some people, a lot of people recognize me as well, but Mario, he has that and the way he's up close, people recognize Mario right away from a long distance. Pierre is brilliant, sincere. I believe in him. I agree. I believe in him. He's the best person for the job, I believe. I love Pierre on Joe Rogan. He rocked it. He had class, not bashing Carney. He did a really good job. I like the thoughtful gift. You know what? Did anybody see this hour and 22 minutes or whatever, the CBC jokes? And they showed Pierre not be able to hold the weight. Unbelievable. He held that weight perfectly. And he did not struggle with the 70 pounds. Not at all. You're wrong, Mark. Trudeau got the Indo deal. Carney just signed it. What Indo deal? The one where we're sending $100 million to students for Indian students and not Canadian-born students. They're giving these scholarships. Why don't we give it to Canadian people, the scholarships, the $100 million? I looked into the other details, but yeah, I mean... with the uranium deal, that's going to, but let's be real. We need a deal with the United States. That thing's going to be expiring in a few more months. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when that thing expires? Joe Rogan and Pierre was a masterclass, but Mark gives it a try. Please ask Pierre. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? I don't know if you guys watched my Danielle Smith interview, where I flew to Alberta and I got one-on-one time with her. Amazing, amazing woman. She's exactly what I expected. And, I even told her, I said, I knew I'd get along with you just fine. She's a really classy woman, great leader. By the way, it's her birthday today. I sent her a message saying happy birthday. Hopefully she gets it. If you're watching Danielle, happy birthday. Yeah, wonderful woman. And you know what I really like? I'm not mainstream media. I'm just a person out there. Obviously, I have my educational background and the things that I bring to the table, which is unique, and my personality. But, I really like to get to know people. I want to know people. I don't want their scripted stuff. When I talk to Danielle Smith, she's like, do you want to talk about pipelines? I said, no, everybody wants to talk pipeline. I'm the next person that you talk to after me is going to talk about pipelines. I want to know about you. And she was actually quite nervous. She's like, oh, shoot, nobody asks about me. I'm like, exactly. We're going to talk about, but I told her, the start off is I told her, I said, listen, I came here with a long list of questions, but now that I'm sitting in front of you, I only have one or two, but that's a way to really get her to be like, okay, it's not going to be that bad. But then I had a bunch of questions, right? But they were all led to one thing is her core value and what gets her, why is she doing this? A lot of the things about the people that serve, obviously the prime minister has a lot of power. That's a bit different, but I'm saying the other people that serve, they don't make this 300, 400,000. And there's a lot of people, good people that serve, and they're doing it for the right reasons, right? So we got to remember that. Anyway, if I interviewed Pierre, I think it would be an interesting interview for sure. Common sense isn't common. Unfortunately not. Oh man. Every day I'm just like, how did this happen? How are there not enough, is it because Canada lost, religion's really under attack? I mean, is that what it is? Because with religion, there's the commandments and, your sense of community, you believe in a higher up. And, then there's, I don't know what it is, guys. I'm trying to figure it out. But yeah, we've lost a lot of common sense, unfortunately. I appreciate you too. By the way, guys, I was going to let you guys know way in advance so in July, I'm heading to Vietnam for 3 weeks. So I still don't know what I'm going to do. I might be able to if you guys follow me on my Twitter X account or other, I might do daily, summary videos of this is my first time that I'm ever going to go to Vietnam. And I'm really interested in the culture and what I do. So, I won't be able to bring my filming studio with me unless I buy a gaming computer, like a laptop. But I'm on vacation, so with the family, so I don't know. So I'm thinking maybe I could record the most fascinating thing I saw for the day and clip it and put it together so that you guys could be there with me and see what it's all about. Most likely when I'm retired, which I still have many years till then. If I really like it, I think Vietnam's the place to be. The cost of everything is 90% off. Even I'm just looking at hotels. It's like a fraction. You stay at a 5-star hotel for $200 a night or $250. It's really cheap. Gorgeous properties. And it's not, I thought I'm like, oh, it's third world. It's not third world. They have all the technology. It's quite nice. So I look forward to reporting on that. So I'm just letting you know way in advance. There'll be 3 weeks, but maybe I could fill everybody in with travel blogs so you guys could be there with me and see what I'm up to in short little things. I don't know if I could upload it in my shorts for YouTube because on YouTube, I think it's going to mess up the algorithm. I do these shorts for you guys. I put some US stuff and, I create these shorts and I think if I do the travel blog with the shorts, things will get messed up. So I'll probably have to bring it over to X, Instagram, Facebook. We could do it over there. So make sure you guys follow me over there because I actually publish On X, I publish all day. So if you don't see any of my YouTube videos, if you want to see what I'm up to, head over to X. Yesterday I posted 90 times. I don't know how I did that. I did. I posted 90 times yesterday. I do the clips, people share it. Today I wasn't as active, but I did post some stuff. It wasn't the news. It wasn't as active today. Yesterday was a huge thing. We had Pierre Poilievre speak. We had Mark Carney. We had all sorts of stuff yesterday. So I had lots of content for everybody. All right. We're getting close to the end here. I'll take a few more questions, and then thanks for everybody that came on this Impronto live that asked your questions. And just because I'm skimming through, I'm just making sure, like, you know, I get everybody involved here. Yeah. RIP. Canadian taxpayer. Totally. Oh, I saw something about 15-minute city. Who will control the 15-minute city? The cops? You know, these 15-minute cities, they're smart cities. So there'll be like a bazillion cameras. You're going to have your credit, your social credit score, and you're going to live there, and you need to be a very good, obedient citizen in order to do whatever, get access to all your stuff. I mean, there's some speculation, but there's some honesty to this as well. You just have to look at China. What do they have there? Hey, Mark, do you think you could interview Carney without laughing? Honestly, I can't stand listening to Carney. Even his interviews, it bothers me. I don't know if I could interview Carney. I don't think he would want me to interview. But I'll be honest with you. For you guys, I will do anything. Like, I will do that interview. If you guys wanted me to do that interview, I'd do it. But obviously he would have to accept. I would do the interview, even though I don't want to do the interview. I mean, just listening to his speech, I don't think I could handle, you know, what if I asked him real questions, which he doesn't take real questions. He has trouble answering media questions. Mainstream media questions. He's imagine he was trying to answer my questions. He would have a seizure. He would be just It would, you know what? A lot of viral clips out of it of him having a seizure doing this. But outside of that, I don't think we're going to learn anything new. He's not honest. He's not going to be honest with us. But maybe we'll learn something. Maybe we'll learn something. He'll slip up. Because maybe he'll say something honest for once. We'll see. Wonder if Nick Shirley could expose Carney's Brookfield holdings. Yeah, that'd be nice. I don't know. There's a lot of things happening in Canada. It'd be interesting. I don't think it's official. He did talk about it. Maybe we're on his radar. Nothing official. He's not. I don't think he's coming anytime soon. He has a lot of work in the U.S. But wouldn't that be nice? It would be nice. Pleb strong. Yeah, we're seeing the Agenda 2030. Can't wait to watch you and the pleb. Thank you. Yeah, I can't wait. All right, we're almost done. I'll take one more question probably. Thank you, Mark, and all your fellow like-minded Canadians. Stay strong, have faith, the tide will turn. I think that's a great way to end this live. Thank you to everybody that showed up on the impromptu live. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you had a lot of fun. And I'm going to be creating some more reports. So I'm working on one right now. And I'll try to get 2 more out. Plus, I have the interview tomorrow. So I'm going to get that out as well. Tomorrow, I have an interview with Warren Ham, and I look forward to introducing you to him tomorrow. Daryl Jones has dropped out of the leadership campaign. Okay. I like the guy. He has joined Caroline Elliott and is going to be providing her with his expertise. So he's part of their team now. I'm happy for Daryl. He believes she's going to be the winner. So that's probably why he wants to be with a winner. I like Daryl. He's a nice guy, but now you can't vote for Daryl. So we're going to take a look at Warren Ham and see if he's our guy. I don't know. We're going to ask him questions. What I do know about Warren is he's not a politician. He's basically, he's a businessman and he's done construction, and we're going to find out what he could do to save this province. So I look forward to that interview this weekend. Friday morning to Sunday, I'm heading down to the US. I'm taking the wife and kids. We're going to go to Seattle. I'm just going to walk around and, spend some time going to shops and different things and, give them a nice Easter long weekend. I'm going to come back reborn. Okay. And, hopefully everybody out there has a wonderful long weekend as well. It's important to be with family. We don't live forever. We live such a short life. So these are the moments, these special little weekends, Christmas, you got to spend time with family, call them, see them, do something with them, even if it's a phone call. It's important. Work is always going to be there. Don't worry. I'm going to continue to work hard for you guys and deliver the news that I try to make sure it's, you guys are informed. But you know what? All the other content creators are doing a great job. So I know I watch the other, like Moose and the Loose, I watch daily. I watch all the other ones. So, I don't want to replicate what they've done. So often I'm like, okay, they covered it. I'm good. I'm going to do something different because I always want to provide you guys something new and interesting. So, okay, I think that's good. So awesome. I'll see you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you guys on my next report. Have a good night.